a full slate of NBA action in addition to the big hockey game. And a little bit later on, we will try to get some insight on the hockey game. I mean, listen, me and Joe House try to figure out what's what. Not exactly what we need. We love you, House. You love me. We need help with the hockey.
We need help. That's right.
We need help desperately. So Pete Jensen from NHL.com hopefully is going to give us winner and some goal scorers and all that good stuff a little bit later on. NBA action tonight. Raheem, Sixers. One of the most, if not the most disappointing team that the league has to offer this year. They're 20-34 on the year. Paul George on vacation. He is now becoming the butt of all jokes in the city of brotherly love. And they are an 8-point dog against Boston. Game and the rest of the season aside for Philly here. Can they salvage anything here moving forward, Dream? Or is the rest of this campaign a total lost cause in your eyes?
So the interesting thing is that when you look at the landscape of the Eastern Conference, the Philadelphia 76ers right now, they are 11th in the Eastern Conference. And you look at the Chicago Bulls, they only have a 1.5 game lead over the Philadelphia 76ers. The Miami Heat, they can't score at all without Jimmy Butler. Now, they might be a little bit too far ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers, but it's easy to see the Sixers being able to creep into that 9 or 10 spot and make it to the play-in tournament. However, the Sixers have just been terrible all year long. You're talking about a team which has the second worst cover rate in the league. If you look at the Sixers right now against the spread, they are 19-33-2. And when you look at the numbers with Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey on the floor, it's not like they're lighting the world on fire. So it's very hard to trust this Philadelphia 76ers team. And they have real tank possibilities because they've just been snake bitten all year in terms of injuries. So I do think they can make it into the play-in tournament, but I also think there's a possibility that this team just throws in the towel and starts to tank.
Yeah, the interesting thing with them is that they lose their first round pick this upcoming year if it's 7 or worse. It's only top 6 protected. And you know, I've been waiting any minute now for the announcement that Joel Embiid is done for the season, which honestly probably should have been the announcement at the outset of the season rather than the nonsensical back and forth. But you touched on it, and JJ, you talked about Paul George being the butt of the jokes. I mean, butt is right because he's been ass all season long. That man has 9 total games of 20 points or more for the contract that he pulled out of
stealing money. He's stealing money.
It's an outrage. It's an outrage, and the people of Philadelphia have good reason, good cause for being upset with the situation there and out of with his effort, because really that was supposed to be the thing that was going to bridge the gap while Embiid was getting himself healthy. Now they did have injuries befall both Paul George and Embiid. I mean, that happens. We understand it. We know the injury history there, but it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. And, you know, the people of Philadelphia are showing their lack of enthusiasm for what's occurred here. They do have a Super Bowl. Thank God for them. But the point is, I don't have any, there's just no interest for me in betting on the Sixers. Like, if they don't care, I don't care. And I'm not going to put my money into it.
So the Sixers are plus 225 to make the postseason.
Yes, they are.
And for me, I don't know if I'm interested in going that route, but I don't buy this Miami Heat team. They're ninth in the Eastern Conference. I think the future to play there is to play the Miami Heat, to miss the postseason at plus 205. I think that's the best value on the board right now.
And it's interesting. Philly to make the playoffs is at plus 225. To make the East play-in tournament, they are juiced heavily at minus 470. So, no thanks. No thanks.
Way. Steve's point about the Heat, though, is right.
Yeah.
Because the Heat are absolutely, that's a tankathon. That team, that nobody leads the league in giving up double-digit leads more than the Heat. The Heat, in the stretch leading up to the All-Star break, gave up leads of over 20 points at or more than 20 points twice, and they got busted out. They lost to the Nets, the Celtics, the Thunder, and the Mavericks, and they had sizable leads in two of those games. I don't that team is headed to rebuildville.
Yeah, it's a lost season. And now you're finally seeing a reckoning, long overdue, quite frankly, in Miami. Okay, the Phoenix Suns house. And you guys were pretty spot on with a whole lot of the picks that you gave for the over-unders at the beginning of the year. Listen, we all like a mulligan. My life is a mulligan. I like a mulligan anytime I'm on a golf course. I'm giving you the mulligan on Phoenix. There was a case to be made for them having success this year. It has flamed out. It has been a colossal disappointment as they're 2 under 500. They're a 2.5-point dog tonight in San Antonio. To me, if you're asking me point blank, who do I feel better about down the stretch? It's this San Antonio team that added De'Aaron Fox, that has incentive to play, that feels like they're, at the beginning of starting to build something, as opposed to a Phoenix team where it's like, yeah, at some point in time, this baby is getting blown up. And it's just, is it going to be this summer? Is it going to be next fall? Whatever the case may be. I see San Antonio and Phoenix, not only tonight, but moving forward. I'm way more bullish on the Spurs the rest of this year. You got to be.
This San Antonio team, I think, is poised to try and make a run. Like they were sitting at 18 and 16 right around New Year's, Christmas time, and then they went on a swoon because their defense fell off a cliff. But the addition of De'Aaron Fox, I think that should put some enthusiasm into it. And I will tell you this, I have a best bet for us today. I want to mention this band's name right now. Stephon Castle showed us something over All-Star Weekend, and that dude is here to ball. And I think that it will reflect well on his candidacy as a Rookie of the Year. I do think that San Antonio is going to try and make a point. I love them tonight against Phoenix in Austin, trying to show out for the good people of Austin. Bill Simmons in the house. I mean, I'm on this San Antonio team, Dream.
So my model has this San Antonio minus 2.3. The market is at San Antonio minus 2.5. So I think we're right on market here. I'm not seeing any value on either side. So I'm going to stay away from this one, but I do think the Spurs are obviously a team on their way up, and the Suns are on a team on their way down. And it's unfortunate because I wish that, FanDuel Sportsbook, they offered two-way markets on the play-in, because it feels like this Suns team is going to miss the play-in tournament altogether. Right now, they're minus 120 to make the West play-in. Can we get some two-way markets on this? Because I would like to bet on them missing it.
Well, and how about the fact, House, that Phoenix is plus 300 to make the playoffs? Doesn't that tell you all you need to know?
It tells you all you need to know. It's exactly right.
And I'm proud of us, guys, because we got the better of this Golden State number as I stare at the odds to make the Western Conference playoffs right now as we speak. Clippers are at minus 430. Minnesota's at minus 400. House, Golden State's up to minus 134. I like 118 a lot better than what we got, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Just saying.
Well, they lost that game to Dallas, and that's why. They had a nice split. They did lose a game to Dallas, but then they got a win. But Dream, I'm interested in this because I was looking at this. Their first two games after the break. We're talking about the Golden State Warriors and their chances to make the playoffs. JJ just mentioned minus 134. They're at the Kings Friday night, tomorrow night. And then they're home against the Mavericks. And I'm wondering if you get a better price, because those are two absolutely crucial games to their fortunes, the playoff outcome. Is it better playing the money line and doing a little money line rollover, bet them on the money line Friday night, because they'll either be a tiny dog in Sacramento or it'll be very close. Maybe they'll be a tiny favorite. And then they go home and they'll be maybe another tiny favorite against Dallas, right? Maybe you play the money line in those two games, because whatever this minus 134 come Monday, if they win both those games, it's going to be much pricier.
Yeah, I think I agree with that assessment. Like I'm looking at my model right now. I have Sacramento minus 1.5 in that game. And then when I look at that game against Dallas, actually, my model still has like Luka numbers still in it, but I actually have Dallas as a slight favorite in that game, but it's pretty obvious that the Warriors would probably be favorites in that game. So I see where you're coming from.
So we hit on the two big TNT games for Thursday. We gave you some odds for the playoffs. Quickly, House. This on the FanDuel Sportsbook website. Simmons put this up. Warriors, T-Wolves, Pistons all make it at plus 160. Yay or nay?
It's a yay. It's a strong yay. It's a happy yay. It's a, let's go cash yay. I really do like the idea of this Golden State team. I think the whole bet, this is just a bet. You've created a situation where you have plus money odds on Golden State making the playoffs, because I feel very good about the other two teams. I really don't think either one of those is going to be a sweat, barring injury, and I'll knock on wood so the NBA gods are listening to me. Barring injury, I like both Detroit and Minnesota. So this is plus 160 for Golden State to make the playoffs. And the return of Kuminga, I like the idea of Jimmy Butler, the impact he might have on Kuminga.
Yeah, I think this is a yay. If you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, I believe that they have the sixth easiest schedule. And obviously, I think they're in prime position to make a second half run. You look at the Golden State Warriors. They have the ninth easiest schedule. And obviously, I think Jimmy Butler has added an element to the Warriors that they haven't had. They've always had three-point shooting with Steph Curry. And I know this three-point shooting outside of him hasn't been great. But the thing that Jimmy Butler can add is the ability to get to the free throw line. And that's something that the Warriors truly haven't had. So I think that makes them much more dangerous offensively. And then I think the Pistons, right now, they're 2.5 games up on the Orlando Magic. I love the basketball that they're playing. They should be able to make the postseason.
They've been a feel-good story all year. Finally, long overdue in Detroit. We were almost a year early on kind of predicting their renaissance. I remember last year we were in on the over. Didn't necessarily work out as far as them being a playoff team. Now I think you're kind of seeing the fruits of the labor. They've done a good job of getting their young guys up to speed, complementing it with a veteran here or there. I like where the Pistons are at, growing in the right direction, no doubt. I like that at plus 162. Before we transition, gentlemen, I gave you the two big games of the day. Raheem, Clippers, Bucks, Memphis, Indy, Orlando, Atlanta. On the rest of the Thursday card, is there anything that really stands out to you?
Yes, I like the Memphis Grizzlies. To me, this is my best bet. I don't know why this line is what it is. It just doesn't make sense to me. My model actually makes this closer to 4. They're only laying 2 on the road. Right now, at the time that we're recording this, I'm not sure if Ja Morant is going to play, but I don't care because Ja Morant is no longer their best player. Jaren Jackson Jr. is their best player. And I'm looking at a Memphis Grizzlies team right now, which is 6th in offensive rating and 7th in defensive rating. To me, they're clearly the better team here. And I like them with or without Ja Morant. I'm going to lay the 2 points with the Memphis Grizzlies.
JJ, I, of course, endorse this. I can't believe it. It's literally the game that I had circled in red.
Was this the best bet that we spoiled?
No, I have a couple other best bets, fortunately. But in terms of the slate, I was like, hold on a second. 2 points. For some reason, the market has been sleeping on this Memphis team. Memphis has been extraordinary against the East. They're 16-4 straight up and against the spread against the East. And I think it's because they're very hard to plan for. They're a different kind of animal than what they've been in seasons past. And every single time they come out with an intensity that teams aren't prepared for. I think that that 2 point line is incredible. And look, the money line's minus 130 on a 2 point favorite. So that the market anticipates Memphis handling its business here.
Well, boys, we'll be making that a family play because I also will be on the Memphis Grizzlies in that spot. Defense optional, as we know, with the Indiana Pacers. I know Indiana played well going into the All-Star break, but that to me strikes as a team that, hey, offense might not be well-oiled machine coming out first game after a little bit of a break. Give me the team that's going to travel defensively, and I'll go and grab that spot any day of the week.